Is it Hurts or the team?
I think it's a little bit of both, man. I think
It's system and team.
They got a great offensive line, which helps Hurts. Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. They got a good running game.
I mean, bro, like
The Eagle Cowboy coming up, ain't it?
yeah, it's coming up. I'm not trying to make no enemies. I just love the game so much, and I understand it so much that like when things are off, I just can't like hold it in. Like I almost gotta say something. Like
His stats and what he's been doing with the numbers that he be putting up is MVP worthy, just like what Patrick Mahomes doing. But that pass with Patrick Mahomes was
nuts.
insane, bro.
But that's what he does. Mahomes is an MVP.
Welcome back to another installment of In Any Arena. If you like our content, give us that CLS treatment, that comment, that like, and subscribe. And again, thank you for watching. Let's get into it.
We back, brother. What's going on with you?
I can't call it again. Another day, another dollar. Transitioning into the weekend. A lot of festivities, a lot of sports that are going on. Happy holidays to you all. Thank you for tuning in. I'm doing good, bro. How about you?
Everything's lovely. Yo, Dub, thanks y'all for tuning in. I appreciate that more than anything. But on top of that, we got another ask. I love Hondas. I love Toyotas. I love Mazdas. That was my first car. But from you guys, I need Mercedes-Benz treatment. Comment, like, subscribe, the CLS. Do that for me and Dub. Yo, we'll keep being able to give you guys content, great content at that. Talking all sports, boxing, football, basketball, baseball, bodybuilding, physique, whatever it is you guys want to talk about, Dub and I will introduce you to it and give a run through of what we think about it. Before we get into anything else, we've got to talk Eagles Cowboys. So typically, the NFC East is a division that's decided the last week of the season. It might be that way again this year, but the Eagles and the Cowboys are thriving. I mean, the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. The Cowboys aren't far behind. They've had some injuries early on with Dak Prescott. They've worked through it. They fought through it. They're going to be a playoff team. They're possibly going to sign OBJ. But they were doing a little jaw jacking, talking a little smack, particularly Micah Parsons over this last week about Jalen Hurts MVP candidate. So, Doug, I got to hear from you. What do you think about Micah Parsons' comments? Is he right? Is it really the defense in Philadelphia? Is Jalen Hurts as good as advertised? What do you think if you had to pick the Eagles or the Cowboys? I need to hear it all.
I will say this. For the Christmas Eve game, I got the Cowboys winning when it doesn't really matter. I have them losing in the playoffs to the Eagles, though. It will happen in the NFC Championship game because what can go wrong in D-Town will go wrong. To Micah Parsons' comments. So I have to respectfully disagree. Now, I respect Micah Parsons' game.
For sure.
He backs up what he says. So he has the ability to say how he feels because he's an all-pro linebacker. So if he was like this third or fourth string linebacker talking junk about, not necessarily junk, but just providing his commentary on a starting quarterback, then I would feel kind of differently about the comments. But this is Micah Parsons. So with that being said, again, I disagree with what he says because he mentioned something along the lines of, it's all the defense. He's a system quarterback, blase, blah. Listen, all quarterbacks are system quarterbacks. You can't just take Marcus Mariota and plug him into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense and run the same plays that Tom Brady ran. No, every quarterback is tailored towards a system. You can't take Lamar Jackson and just throw him in any random system. It doesn't work. I could take Lamar and put him in the Philadelphia Eagles system and it'll work just fine. But I can't take Lamar Jackson and put him into the New England Patriots scheme. It just wouldn't work. Just like when Cam went to New England, it did not work. It could have worked if they would have been more accommodating to his game and his strengths, but it just didn't work. So when he said that it's all about the defense, yeah, the defense they have the best defense in the league behind the Cowboys. But for me, I just really think Jalen Hurts has elevated his game this season. Last year, there was a lot of questions. Can he be a franchise quarterback? he's been able to debunk any of those myths or questions about his game and him being able to throw the ball at a very high level. The guy has 3 interceptions this season. I think he has like 25 or 26 touchdowns.
He's first in the league in interceptions, by the way. So throwing the least amount of interceptions.
Least amount of interceptions. He probably has well over 600 rushing yards. Has over what 2,500, 2,700 passing yards.
3,100.
3,100.
3,157 on the passing yards.
Okay.
He ranks 4th in quarterback rating.
Okay.
And then rushing yards, he's got regular season rushing yards.
Gotta be over 500, about
686.
6. So, boom. And how many touchdowns does he have? Passing touchdowns?
Passing touchdowns, 22.
22.
Yeah.
Guys, what the type of output that he's putting up is, to me, is very comparable to when Lamar Jackson won the MVP in what was it, 2018? I think Lamar won the MVP. So again, for him to say that he's a system quarterback, all quarterbacks are system quarterbacks. My question is to Micah, what are you going to do when Jalen Hurts and that darn offensive line come out there with all that talent around him? What are y'all going to do as the Cowboys? Is Trayvon Diggs going to continue to jump routes and get cooked?
I can tell you what they're going to do. They're going to lose. That's what they're going to do.
You know what I'm saying? So, you're going to have to elevate your game, because now you just put a battery pack on the offensive line's back, the wide receivers, the running backs, the play callers, and Jalen Hurts. This guy thrives under adversity, right? This guy thrives under adversity, and he says the right things. This guy is a true leader. He's becoming one of my favorite players in the league, but I like how he carries himself. He's a professional on the field and off the field.
I don't even think it's that he says the right things. I think what's more important than all that is that he does the right things.
Absolutely.
And he thinks the right things as a leader. Because a lot of leaders will say the right things, but they don't take the actions to follow it up. And then you got some leaders that say the wrong things, like Zach Wilson. No, I couldn't have played better. But Jalen Hurts, like you said, this is a resilient kid. You mentioned there being questions around him being a franchise quarterback. There are questions around him being a starting quarterback before there were ever questions around whether he's a franchise quarterback. So, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just gotta agree.
Oh no, I was done. I was being long winded, but I'm just thinking through the process and thinking about the comment, which he's justified to say that, because you got media analysts and professionals at ESPN, Fox Sports, everywhere that talks about these players, but you really don't hear players talk about players like that in that light. So, respect to Micah Parsons. I think he's an exceptional player, but I think that Jalen Hurts is the front runner for MVP, and I think he should win the MVP if he continues to play like this all the way through the remainder of the season. But I'll turn it over to you, bro. I know it ain't too much more to say, but
yeah, you said everything I'm thinking, man. I mean, like, literally, the only thing I will say is I don't think he's justified in saying it. I think there's a little bit of hate there, or I don't know what it is, because I mean, yeah, you have your thoughts, but you have to be realistic. You're talking about a guy that's first in interceptions, a guy that has 10 rushing touchdowns, over 20 passing, a guy that's 4th overall in his quarterback rating. It's not just the defense. Let's be clear. It's not.
You have to be able to execute. You have to be able to execute.
You have to be able to execute. Yes, defenses win championships. But if it was just about the defense, then the Cowboys will have a championship in the past couple of years by now, because their defense has been there, right? It's been a lack of production when it comes to the offense when needed, whether it was, somebody being hurt, somebody not showing up. So if it was just about a defense, they would have a championship. So I think there's got to be some respect given here. Jalen Hurts is playing great football. We got to acknowledge that he is the front runner for the MVP, should win the MVP. So you got a guy who's even in the MVP conversation, and for you to say it's the defense, that's hate. But you're going to have to show up and back that up in a couple of days when Jalen Hurts and those Eagles meet the Dallas Cowboys, like you said, on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. Is it Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve?
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. I was right. Cool. Micah Parsons, you're going to have to back that up. We're going to see if it's just defense come Christmas Eve.
We'll definitely see.
For sure. Yo, we broke it down here. Micah Parsons, holla at us in the comments, brother. So, as we always say, man, we can ask for a lot of things. We don't want Christmas gifts. We do, actually. We want that Mercedes-Benz treatment. That CLS, by the way. Comment, like, subscribe. Double and I'll keep giving y'all what we got when it comes to in the arena.
Till next time.